this was so amazing. People say to me, oh, how do you have all these big Addies? How do you have $100 million of cars? You're so lucky. It's not luck. It's never been luck. I've been the person who took action. And if I were to tell you right now what action to take, you won't do it. So I'm not going to feel sorry for you when you fail. If I was as lazy and incompetent as these people, I'd be like them.
My life is just work. But that's boring, right? But that's the truth about it. I'm on my laptop all day, every day. I have 18 hours a day of screen time. I'm either training or I'm working.
Anything I do, I try and keep the end goal in mind. Every single thing I do has some kind of work tinge to it. I'm always constantly striving towards something. So people who know me say, Tate, your whole life is work. I say, yeah, it is, but I live a fun life. The idea of just relaxing completely, I'm quite fortunate because I don't find that appealing. People go, oh, I'd love to just relax on a beach. I can't think of anything worse. I'll be bored in 3 minutes. Maybe that's something I've learned. Maybe it's something I'm born with. But for me, it's always been goal, action, 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 action. So
do I know some women? Yes, of course. Do I have some fancy cars to drive? Yes. Can I go to the odd restaurant? Yes. But the majority of the time, all I do is work because that's what I enjoy to do. I don't think most things outside of work are as entertaining as the work itself. That's why I'm successful. People get successful and they start to say, oh, I'm above that. It's empty. It's vaporous. That's true. I just don't think it's as fun as working. I think just winning is fun. I think the whole point of life is a man's competition in the first place.
A lot of people don't even have a plan. A lot of the people are just waiting for their ship to come in. One day my ship will come in, and when it does, I'll buy a house, and then, I'll go on holiday twice a year. Like, that's their entire life goal. And I'm not hating on those people because I need those people to serve me coffee. So that's fine. But because you do, right? There's no light without dark, and there's no rich without poor. Anyone who knows me will tell you, if I'm awake, I'm working. From the second I wake up, I'm on my laptop to the second I go to sleep. First thing I do when I wake up is check my phone. And if I even do anything fun, I kill all the fun because I make it work. Oh, we can film it, get this, need this scene. Filming having fun is not having fun, ever. I only enjoy work because I like to feel proud of myself. I don't want to be happy, I want to feel proud of myself. So if I'm ultimately tired and need a few extra hours in bed every once in a while, yeah. But I never just have a day. Tristan, back me up. I've ever said I need a day where I just need a day off. Ever. I think I've always understood that you can outwork people. Well, you can outwork a lot of things about yourself as well. You can outwork a lot of negative emotions. You can outwork a lot of problems in your mind. Like people sit and say, oh, I'm unhappy or I'm sad. How do you find the time in the day to sit around thinking about being sad? Like I don't have time to sit around and contemplate how I feel because I'm busy. A plane defies gravity with speed. That's all it does. If a plane stops moving forward, what happens? It falls down, right? So if you can do the same thing with yourself and your mentality and your problems and everyone else around you, you can outwork everybody. So I've always understood outworking people. And I also think that it's very easy to work hard and win when you're already winning. It's harder to find a way to make money and work all the time and deal with all the bullshit and be at the bottom of whatever industry you're in and not have any reputation, whatever. But if I were to say to all of you right now, for every minute you body spar, you get $1,000. I guarantee we'd still be out there right now sparring. So like, once you get to the point, like in my position where I know if I put the time in, I'm going to win. But how can I stop now?
Hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. You've heard that before, but do you really get it? While you're sitting back, waiting for the perfect moment, there's someone out there with less talent, but more hustle, making it happen. And guess what? You'll never catch up unless you start grinding right now. The clock's ticking. Are you in or are you just wasting time? Right now, someone is outworking you. They're hustling harder, pushing further while you're still waiting for your perfect moment. Guess what? That moment never comes. You either get up and dominate or you stay average, and no one remembers the average. What if I told you that every decision you make right now is leading you down a path? One that either brings you to the top or leaves you in the dust of those who chose to work while you were sleeping. It doesn't take perfection, it just takes you realizing that your next move can be the one that changes everything. The man who wins is the man who works when others are watching TV. The man who eats while hungry, trains while tired, and studies while distracted. The man who doesn't wait to feel ready, he just moves. You think you're burnt out, you're not burnt out, you're soft. And that softness is why someone with half your intelligence is passing you in life right now. He's not smarter than you, he's not stronger than you, but he's hungrier and grind deeper. That's what separates the winners from the spectators. The truth is harsh, but it's liberating. You don't need luck. You don't need some secret blueprint. You just need to stop negotiating with weakness. That's why you're stuck. That's why you're not elite. You're not being held back by society, the system, or some secret conspiracy. You're being held back by the minutes you waste. I'll start tomorrow is the biggest lie you keep telling yourself. Because tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into a forgotten dream. Men who win don't wait for ideal conditions. They use adversity like fuel. When it rains, they train harder. When they're tired, they lean in. Life doesn't reward the comfortable. It rewards the obsessed. You don't stumble into greatness. You sacrifice your sanity for it. You earn it with blood, sweat, and the nights you wanted to quit, but didn't. Do you realize how many men out there are willing to suffer 10 times harder than you to take what you dream of having? Someone out there is working like their life depends on it, because it does. You don't need motivation. You need a standard, a level you don't drop beneath. You need to be the kind of man who says, if I have breath in my lungs, I will move forward. Because if you're not outworking every man around you, you're already behind. You're losing. And the world doesn't pity the man who almost made it. The world only remembers the one who refused to be outworked. You think I became successful because I had time to rest and recharge? I became successful because I made rest a reward, not a requirement. I sacrificed peace for progress. I traded sleep for success. I stopped asking myself how I felt and started asking what needs to be done. You can do the same. You have what it takes. But you've been taught to believe that life should be fair, that success should come without struggle. Nothing great comes easy. Everything worth having demands war. It's supposed to be hard. That's the beauty of it, because when it's hard, when you're exhausted, broken, and you still move forward, that's when you know you're different. That's when you look in the mirror and see someone who's no longer controlled by weakness. You want to feel powerful? Outwork every man in the room, outlast the pain, outgrow the excuses, outmaneuver the distractions. You'll feel it, the shift, that moment when you realize that no one can match your pace, your energy, your will to win. That's when people start watching, wondering, admiring, because they can feel that you're not built like them, that the hustle isn't something you do, it's who you are. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to never stop, because the hustle doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care how you slept last night. And the man who gives more than anyone else, he gets more than anyone else. That's the game. Play it harder than anyone you've ever known, and you'll win every time. You think success is about some trick, some hack? No, success is about becoming the man who keeps pushing when there's no applause. I didn't win because I was special. I won because I never stopped pushing. You want your life to change? Then stop negotiating with comfort. Stop acting like effort is optional. Stop treating your future like a hobby. The grind isn't a season, it's a lifestyle. Because the man who outworks everyone can't be denied. This isn't about becoming rich. This is about becoming unbreakable. So remember this, you can either suffer the pain of discipline or suffer the pain of regret. One builds you, one buries you. The choice is yours. You need to understand how fast time moves when you waste it. Every lazy morning is a bullet through your potential. Every skipped workout, every ignored opportunity, every distraction you indulge, they all have a cost. But the cost isn't visible right away. The price of comfort is paid slowly, invisibly, until one day you wake up and realize you've traded your greatness for mediocrity. Comfort is the slowest poison on earth. It doesn't kill you instantly. It numbs you, weakens you, makes you forget what it felt like to want something so badly that you die for it. That fire, most people lose it. They get domesticated by routine, hypnotized by entertainment. They don't even realize they've been caged. Fear is not your enemy. Comfort is. It will seduce you. It'll tell you you've done enough. It'll whisper, take a break. You deserve it. And the moment you listen, the moment you slow down, you've given your competition everything they need to bury you. Your future self is watching you. Every choice you make right now, every decision to grind or slack builds the man you're becoming. You're shaping the version of you who will either dominate life or be eaten alive by it. That's the kind of guilt that haunts men for decades, the kind they try to drown in alcohol or distract with nonsense, but it never leaves. People think rock bottom is a place. No, it's a mindset. It's when you accept less. It's when you look at your life and say, this is okay, when you know damn well it's not. That's when you've lost the game. You want freedom? Then work like a prisoner trying to break out. You want power? Then earn it through hours no one sees. There are no shortcuts, there are no secrets. There is only relentless, savage work ethic. You're not tired, you're uninspired, you're not overwhelmed, you're under-disciplined. Stop using your circumstances as an excuse. You were not born to be average, you were not born to bow, you were built to rise. Your family's future depends on your hustle. You think you're just working for yourself? You're wrong. One day your kids will either live in abundance or scarcity because of the work you put in today. So what do? Now you go to war with your excuses, with your laziness, with your weaknesses. You wake up earlier, you train harder, you study deeper, you push further, because that's what men of value do. They don't talk about goals, they conquer them. And they understand that the hustle isn't something you do, it's something you become. The man who keeps pushing when every cell in his body screams for rest, that's the man who wins. It's not about feeling inspired or waiting for a wave of motivation. It's about waking up and doing what needs to be done no matter what. Because when your name's on the line, when your future depends on it, when your legacy is being carved every single day, there's no time to wait for the perfect moment. The problem is most people don't even realize they're moving with the herd. They're blending in, obeying every limitation they've been handed, never questioning the script. Get a job, watch TV, complain, repeat. They're stuck in the cycle because they never dare to rewrite the rules. But the ones who win, they aren't built from comfort. They're built from obsession.
Your mind and your body and your soul, created by God, have a degree of innate understanding of what's right and what's wrong. And if you go against that, you're going to feel guilt, and you're going to feel shame, and you're going to feel uneasy, and you're not going to feel normal. If you're going to go through life and accept all the garbage they tell you to put inside of your brain, I don't believe you can be happy that way. Like staying in your house, being fearful, being afraid, believing in these narratives that there's no way you can ever get ahead because you're systematically oppressed and held down by some whatever. And if you absorb all this crap, you're going to be an unhappy person. We're all going to fight. You're either fighting the system or you're fighting your own brain. You need to make a choice. Now, I personally would rather fight the system than sit inside of a self-destructive cycle looking at myself in the mirror. Yes, I need my 8th injection. Yes, I'm so sad. That sounds worse to me. This battle's here for everyone. And I think if the world understood that and if people understood that, a lot more of them would stand up. But they think they can avoid it, and they can't.
This has nothing to do with not feeling emotions. This has nothing to do with just becoming an empty, emotionless void of a person. That's not what this is. This is about understanding that you're a human being, you're going to feel emotions, and making sure that you use them in the correct way. A, and B, you do not ever let them stop you doing what you're supposed to do. I say to people often, I haven't felt like going to the gym in 2 years. After 10 years of professional fighting, after giving my life to exercise, I have not woke up and felt like, I really want to train. I haven't felt that way in a long time. That's why I retired from fighting. But I have still gone and I have still trained regardless of how I feel. Because you're not going to very often feel like working hard. You're not going to always feel like doing the right thing. The idea that you need to be constantly motivated shows how weak your mindset is. I don't need motivation to go to the gym because I use my cerebral ability. I use my mind and I logically decide what I'm going to do with my day regardless of how I feel. Because that's all life is. Life is just getting things done, doing the right things, doing the important things, making sure they're done efficiently and thoroughly so that you live the best possible. It's as simple as that. It's not particularly complicated. Because if you have a mindset that doesn't allow you to fail, then you're simply going to win. There's no other option. I'm not going to be, and I don't want to be one of those guys who's like motivation, inspirational. I've never been one of them people. I don't believe that you need motivation to get things done. I'm not going to sit here and just talk a whole bunch of motivational things to make you feel good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the things I always did that allowed me to put together the mindset I currently have. If you look at any story with a hero in it, they all have one thing in common. And that thing is that there's always a villain. It doesn't matter. You can think of any superhero, any comic book, any book you can think of, any movie. There's always a good guy and there's a bad guy. There's no other way for the duality of the universe to continue without this basic tenet. As a man, life is going to be difficult. It's more difficult than being a woman. It's more difficult than anything else. Life is actually easier as a whole if you see yourself as a hero. Because in every single hero story, the hero suffers. And if you understand that you're suffering because you're a hero, then the suffering begins to make sense. Because I'm a man, and as a hero, it's going to be difficult. These are the tests and the trials and tribulations I have to go through to become someone. You've seen the Batman movies. His parents died. He was locked up in jail. All these bad things happen, and then they emerge as the hero. So right now, you have to understand that you're the hero in this movie, and how you handle these struggles and how you deal with these struggles are going to decide the kind of person you're going to be afterwards. You're either going to be a superhero or you're going to succumb to them and you're going to fail. That's the first thing. Second thing is, there has to be a villain. Now, most people think their villain is someone else. So if you're sitting at home and you haven't got much money and you're broke and you're pissed off and you're depressed and you look at me, you may think I'm your villain. People look at other people and say, that guy has this guy has this, and they become envious and they think that's the villain. That's not the case, because every single person has different circumstances. There are things you have that I don't have, and there's things I have that you don't have. So comparing yourself to other people is asinine, and it's the name because it's not a level, fair playing ground. Your villain is nobody else. Your villain is someone you're going to create. And you're going to create your villain because he's going to motivate you to be the most powerful hero you can possibly be. To make sure that there was no disadvantages involved, your villain's going to be a clone of you. And your villain is going to be the person who basically, without requirement for motivation, no matter how he feels that day, regardless of what happens to him, your villain's going to be the guy who always does exactly what he wants to do. Your villain's going to be the guy who does everything he wants, regardless of how he feels, regardless if he's not motivated or not, regardless if he's shy to talk to that girl or people are watching or his ankle hurts, he doesn't want to go to the gym, whatever. Your villain is that dude who does anything he wants to do. And you have to make a list of all the things. You sit there and say, if I did everything I want to do, if I were to be the best version of myself possible, what would I do? Okay, well, I'd go to the gym every day. I get up at 6 a.m. and I go to the gym every day. You write that down. I'd start a side business. Even though I don't know anything about it, I'd learn how to make websites. My villain's the kind of guy who reads really important books. I say I don't have time, but my enemy, this villain, he reads books. He finds time. He doesn't waste time ever. He doesn't eat junk food. He reads books. Writes it down. You have to make a list. You want to become a hero. You need someone to battle against. This is who you're battling against. You're battling against a better version of yourself, a version of yourself that doesn't succumb to how he feels, but does what he's supposed to do anyway. Imagine what this person looks like. You have to imagine what he looks like, imagine how he walks, imagine how he talks, imagine what people think when they see him. Imagine how differently people would look at you, imagine how differently females would treat you if you were jacked like that guy would be. Imagine how he views the world, because this is who you're going to be battling against. So you have to put genuine effort into constructing this person and understanding this person. The reason I'm saying do this is because this is what motivates me every single day. So when I understood who I was truly battling against, then you have two choices. You either rise up to try and take him on, or you become a little pussy. Do I want to lose to this man I've created and I've built? Do I want to lose to him, or do I want to beat him or compete with him? And the crazy thing about all of this person is you. It's just you with a little bit of a different path or a different take on life. It's you who's the person who does whatever he's supposed to do regardless of how he feels. It's you with an iron mind. That person is you who does what he's supposed to do without fail. And when you truly, truly put this person together and you truly, truly understand it, you're going to become far more difficult to demotivate. It's going to be much harder for someone to say to you, don't go to the gym, because you're going to know, my enemy, this guy, this dude's going to the gym. That's why he looks how he looks. And that's who I'm being compared to. So I have to go to the gym. I'm not the guy who's going to let this man beat me. And you have to start comparing yourself to this guy. I still do it to this day. I compare my bank balance to this guy's and he's killing me. I compare my body to this guy's, he's killing me. You guys may look at me and go, oh, Tate, millionaire, girls, this, that, that. I'm still comparing myself to this person I've created. And I know that I'm losing. That's how I do whatever it takes to succeed, because I know who I'm battling against. Most of you guys have no enemy. Or you have an enemy which is somebody else. That's not going to motivate you. That's pointless. Or you have no enemy at all. You have a support structure around you and you have people saying, oh, you're great just the way you are. You know, you're beautiful just the way you are. And you're sitting there and living in your little comfort zone like a little bitch. Your enemy is the version of you which doesn't take shit. Your enemy is the version of you which goes to the gym every single day. And if you've done this correctly, then what you should be doing by now is thinking of him permanently. If you truly constructed him the way you should, he should be crossing your mind with every single thing you do. And this is why it's important to develop an ego. Egos are extremely important. Egos have always existed. Egos are a natural human thing and they're extremely important. And the modern world tells men to not have an ego. And they do that because it makes you weak and easy to control. You can only have an iron mind if you are so sure of yourself, so egotistical that nobody can break it. Now, for the first lesson, we built your enemy and we built this perfect person you're going to be battling against. And there's a very specific reason we did it based on a version of you. One, because it shows who you could be. But the other reason is also because if your ego is based around beating this person, you get to go through life and be a nice guy to everyone else. I'm a nice guy to everyone I meet because they're not my enemy. I say please and thank you. I'm a nice person, but I do have a massive ego. But my ego comes into play when I'm fighting against my enemy. The person you're battling against is beating you. And this person is who you could be. That's what's the most annoying thing about it. This person's outlifting you in the gym. They're making more money. They're fucking their wife better. They've got more girls. They're rolling around a nicer car. This could be you, but it's not you. Only because you don't have the motivation to do what this individual does. And this should inspire your ego. Most people's egos work against them. And the way it works against them is they feel entitled. They wake up and they think, oh, I deserve a nice car. I'm a special person. I deserve a nice car. That is not the right way to use the ego. The ego should be used as in, I deserve a nice car, so I'm gonna go fucking give it. So this person who you've built, your enemy, he has a nice car because he has worked harder than you have. Whose fault is that? There should be no reason, no excuse for you to not do everything that you believe you need to do to be the best person you can be if you've properly created this enemy. And your ego should stop you from wanting to lose. Otherwise, day after day after day, you are losing to this individual. This individual is beating you. You can't let that happen. Your ego is extremely important. And you only have one person you're competing against, and it's the person you created, which is nothing more than a better version of yourself. So day by day, you're losing this battle. And that should make you uncomfortable, it should make you nervous, it should make you anxious. The fact that you can still sit and watch TV means you need to go back to the first video of this course and start again, and do it properly, and do it well enough so that you can no longer sit still. You need to get your shit together. And if you do that properly, you'll start to feel nervous. You'll imagine the version of you that is as amazing as they could be, and you look at yourself and realize that you're failing. It's the reality. Now, when you feel anxious, there's only one thing you can do. You can either sit there and be anxious, little girl, or you can put some things in action. I was nervous before every single fight, and that's when I fought the best. I was afraid. I was afraid of losing. And you need to be afraid of losing day by day throughout your life. Now, if you go to the gym and you beat your personal best, let's say the most you've ever benched is 100 kilo. You go there, you bench 105 kilo. The days you beat your personal best are the days you've beaten this individual. That's the only day you're allowed to claim the victory. But if you're not beating your personal best, he is beating you. And that should inspire you to try and smash through your own records day after day after day. The most money you've ever made in a month. The most weight you've ever lifted. It doesn't matter what goals you set. You have to understand you're going to spend a lot of time losing. And all this time you're spending losing is going to damage your ego, and that's going to make you anxious and unhappy and nervous, and you're going to put all that nervous energy into smashing your personal records so you have those days of victory. What most people don't understand is they think that life just changed overnight. Everything compounds. People say to me, oh, Tate, how did you become successful? I can't tell you the one thing that made me successful. I was always driven, motivated. I understood how to make good connections. I looked after the people who looked after me. I always knew what the right thing to do was. I didn't drink for many years of my life. And it all comes together to success. It's not about one thing. A lot of people go through life with a very average attitude to life, and they wait for their one big break. If you're hoping for a big break, you may as well just keep buying lottery tickets. You have to build your big break. It's a change of mindset that's going to allow you to put together 1,000 tiny victories. And the change of mindset is simply understanding that there's a version of you that exists somewhere in the multiverse, which is much better than you are right now. Purely because they don't get lazy, don't get tired, don't watch TV, don't waste their time. They have an iron mind. That is who you are fighting against.
This is important, especially if you are at home and you're not yet as successful as you want to be, if you don't have your life in exactly the place you want it, if you still feel trapped, whether it's financially or some other way. You wake up and you must be dreaming of freedom, but when your eyes open, after the disappointment, swallow the disappointment, take a minute and look around you and say, I deserve more than this. But then, what's the important point? You must begin to work. I did not miss a single day of training in that jail cell. I didn't sit and say, I'm too depressed, I'm too sad, it's too cold in this freezing cell, I didn't eat enough because it's Ramadan. No excuses. Every single day we trained. We woke up disappointed, we swallowed the disappointment, and we got to training. If we could train in a freezing cold jail cell in Romania, for cockroaches all around us, with no idea when we're going to be allowed freedom once again, you can train in a nice gym, air-conditioned gym in California. What is your excuse? If you imagine something truly and fully, if you truly, completely imagine it, to a degree, your body will react to it. Let me give you an example. If you truly imagined yourself at war, day after day, you imagined yourself under attack, defeating the Matrix agents, you're top G, you're walking through life, the agents are coming, you're doing Aikido and you're destroying them, and you're the most powerful man in the world. If you truly imagined that and felt it in your mind to the point where you thought you were there and you felt it in your body, I would guarantee you, after X amount of time, you would have a higher testosterone level and your muscles would be stronger than if you didn't. I will guarantee you that. Everything is war. Trying to find a way to escape your slave job is war. Sitting in the commute without losing your patience is war. Training to become stronger than before is war. Keeping your wife happy and your children inspired is war. And it cannot be avoided. And I'll tell you why it's war. Because war is two opposing sides trying to achieve the same goal. The car you want, the reason it's so expensive is because others people want it. The beautiful woman, Everyone wants her. Everything about life as a man is war. It is conflict because you are competing against the other men who want it the same. This idea that you can go through life as a man and avoid war is probably the biggest mistake that most men make. Running a business is war. Running an online company, it's war. Life as a man is war. You need to wake up and view it exactly as what it is. Everything I desire, other men are trying to get. This is a war and I must outcompete them. Even in jail, it was a war for who could stay most calm. I was surrounded by people who lost their minds and I refused. It was a battle. While others complain that they do not feel happy enough, I'm happy I'm struggling. Do you understand? I'm happy to be struggling. That is the beauty of life as a man, to be great. If you concern yourself only with being happy, you are once again acting like a female or a child. I want to be happy. Who cares? I want to be great. Would you rather be a loser who's always smiling, or would you rather be a stressed winner? Because I'll tell you something about winners. Most of them are stressed. So you have to sit here and ask yourself, do you want to be a happy loser that's insignificant? Nobody knows you exist. Women don't respect you. Nobody cares if you live or die, but you get to smile all the time. Or do you want to be one of the most important people on the planet with a little bit of stress? As enemies attempt to attack your energy and lower your vibration, understand this. Power is untouchable. Sometimes power is simply not giving a fuck. If you're already working hard, you're already going to the gym, you make sure that you're getting as much muscles as possible, as much money as possible. You don't waste your time. You don't smoke weed. You don't play video games. You can just ignore that girl. The most powerful move you can make is ignore her because you're on your ascent. She is likely on her descent. You're going to continue your ascent and she's going to have to watch you for the rest of her life be the man that she could have been with that she's no longer good enough for. And if you're on the right path doing the right things, God is going to teach them a lesson for simply failing to be a good person to you while they had the chance.